Hi there, good to be here. I'm Ulrich, one of the co-founders and executive chairman of ecolytiq. Also been in the SaaS business now for 20 years, mainly tech. So that's what's fascinating me since the very early days, how to scale technology. Yeah, it's been a constant in my life. And 5 years ago, I stumbled across sustainability as a major topic, being a father of two sons and taking it really seriously. So I was wondering, how can I apply my knowledge in technology, SaaS business software to help tackle climate change? And that's exactly what ecolytiq is doing. So we put climate action into the hands of consumers at scale. So scale is very important for me. It's very important for the investors, but it's also very important for climate. That it needs to be some solutions that scale and scale fast. Solution is called Sustainability as a Service. Should be seamless, easy to use, and scalable. So here's a little thought experiment. What if we could educate 1.5 million consumers about their footprint and how to reduce it? Let's say by roughly 10% of their emissions. That would mean in Europe 1.5 million tons saved. So that's quite an amount. 1.5 million users is what we are having at ecolytiq today. So that's our current user base. So that's what we did last year, 1.5 million tons of CO2 avoided. Avoided, I come to that later, what avoided means. If we increase that number to 10 million consumers by the end of 2024, that would mean, well, you guessed it, 10 million tons of CO2 avoided. So it scales with a number of users. So our goal is one day, and that sounds quite ambitious, 500 million consumers, but let's put it into some context. So there are 4.2 billion Visa cards globally available, and Visa is one of our partners, helping us to tackle the industry, and now there's a little hint. So we're working in the finance and for the finance industry. So we scale with the finance industry, with the banks. We offer a solution that creates awareness for banking customers, engagement, and then enables them also to act. So this is a big market for the banks, like green products, green credit cards, green accounts, green loans, green investments. The green accounts alone has a potential of 50 billion a year, according to McKinsey. The green credit cards alone, 20 to 30 billion a year. So it's a big market, 25K banks out there to be served with 2 billion customers. And I mean, everybody here in this room has a banking account, right? Everybody, so we could reach anybody in this room. Everybody's using a banking app, right? So that's where we are. We use payment data to calculate the footprints of individuals, because everything we do every day is in our payments. Like, you know, you buy a coffee, you fill up your car, you pay your energy provider, you pay your rent. Everything is in your payments. So if I want to calculate the footprint of individuals, the best starting point, the payments. I mean, little cash remaining. In the UK, I think it's even less than in other countries in Europe, but everything is digital today. So we use payment data to calculate the footprint of individuals in the banking app. So you open your, let's say HSBC, one of our customers, banking app, and you see your transaction, you booked a flight. So you know that flight was 300 pounds, 400 euros, but you also see a CO2 number attached to that flight. So you exactly know that flight was quite a lot. Well, Mark was not there, but I think he's flying a lot. So when you fly a lot, your footprint is quite high. What's happened next is basically, that's a rough number. And to make it more engaging, we play out little tips and tricks on how to reduce the footprint. So next time you book a flight, take care you're booking rather day flights than night flights, because day flights emit only half of that of night flights. Scientific reason behind that, don't want to go too far looking at the time. Or we see you grocery shopping. We say, like, did you know if you buy just organic, it saves you roughly 20% of your footprint. If you go vegan, it's 30%. So these little tips and tricks people engage with, so they start changing their behavior, and we track that. So we exactly track, oh, this customer is filling up the car less often, he's using public transport more, he's booking less flights. So we see a customer behavioral change is happening. And the last module is called eco-action. So you book the flight, you know it's 400 kilo of CO2, there you have the opportunity in your banking app to directly offset it, or directly offset your monthly footprint, or offset your travels of that month. So it should be easy and seamless, so that's in the banking app. For the banks, it's an interesting case because it has a quick return on investment. So in the first place, going from left to right, new customers. So 33% of the customers today say they're going to leave the bank if the bank is not willing to offer green products, green cards, green accounts, green investments, right? So the bank is under some pressure. Regulation is also kicking in. That's another point where banks get under pressure. What we do in the banking app increases the engagement in the app. So that's pretty good. I'm using that banking app more often and longer, engaging more. And it's also driving top of wallet. That's a finance industry term, so it means you're spending more on these cards. Now we're talking about less CO2, more spending. That's possible because people basically pull transactions from other cards and accounts and other banks to that account because they have more features there. So it's a nice case for the bank. And obviously some of the banks here, this is Aspiration, is an example from the US, charge you way more for green products than for normal products. And it comes with a positive impact, so that's what we're very proud of. We have certified and audited that the 10% change is actually happening. People start reducing by average 10% of their emissions by changing their behavior. So that's the green line there, it goes down. On the other hand, the spending on these cards actually goes up, as I told you, like pulling transactions from other cards and accounts to that specific green account. So scalability, that's an old number, so it's 1.5 million tons last year. But what is also true is that the price per ton avoided is quite low, right, compared to the market price. So hopefully we'll scale that even higher in the future. And yeah, that was it. And I have 1.5 minutes left, so if anybody has any questions, happy to take them. Yep.
Hi, you have a goal of 500 million. How do you drive people onto your platform? Is it just by getting these numbers that you are or how do people find you?
Yeah, it's through partners, through the banks. So basically, we approach the banks, like in the UK, HSBC, 40 million users. Not live yet, but we're signed in on a global contract. So one day, hopefully, that 40 million customers will be seeing these features in the HSBC app. It's not only UK, they're based in also Hong Kong and other countries. So that's how we scale, and also Visa is a very important partner to approach the banks, even to contract with the banks. It's not easy, it takes time, right? And takes a bit of network there, but it can be done, so yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we always encourage the banks to go local because it's more relevant for the customers to have local projects. Not every time you have these local projects. In some countries, they are just not available, so you have to go for third world countries or stuff like that. But no, it's basically a marketplace where everything can be put on. So we don't really, we don't tell you need to support this project or that project or work with that partner. It's completely up to the bank to which partner, which projects they support, and most of the banks have some projects they are already supporting, so that's a nice add-on. Because there's a reason why you should offset now, or why you should do a donation for a specific project.
Why don't you do any partnership with their airlines company,
Yeah, we have discussed that a little bit, but then we pulled back also a little bit on that because it's a fine path, right? So if you have mileage programs that encourage you to fly more. And flying, again, is one of the things that creates the most emissions, right? So it's a fine path, and we didn't really proceed it to the last mile. Yeah.
Thank you, Ulrich.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thanks.